Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for our monthly live demo where you get the opportunity to get to know one of our strategic partners. And we have Christie King here with C King Benefit Auctions based in Northeast Alabama to talk about a very exciting topic today, which is run of show development. And afterwards, we're going to show you a quick demo of how to use the Event Gives platform. So, Christie, please, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, hey, I have been in the auction business all of my life, actually, since I was a little kid. But I today do fundraising, working with nonprofits throughout the Southeast mainly. But if the money's right and the mission is, if our missions line up, then I would do some traveling. But I've been in the auction business all my life.
Yeah, no, I know Christie has a very amazing past in history with this. She is a fourth generation auctioneer, and amazingly enough, the first female president for the NAA, which is the National Auctioneer Association. And not only that, she was nationally recognized for as a Hall of Fame member, selected by her peers for her impact in the NAA. So, Christie, to go from, I think, being a generational auctioneer, and then I know that you brought yourself into fundraising. What was that journey like? How did you create your own in this beautiful industry?
That's a good question. Let's see. So being a fourth generation, our family business, J.P. King Auction Company, we sell high-end real estate all over the country. We've actually been in all 50 states and 6 foreign countries, started by our great-grandfather, where we focus on high-end real estate. So I did that for 20 years, back in the 80s, did that for 20 years. But even prior to that, I identified a passion that I had that I really didn't realize it until I was older. When I was young, I grew up with a lot of horses out in our field. One day when I was about 11 years old, I was watching a telethon on TV. It's like 11. And I like, okay, I can go raise money. So all my neighborhood, if you will, we were all probably a half a mile from each other. But I saddled up my horse Rocket and I went
A real horse.
Went door to door, raising money for that telethon. Because my mom and dad, us growing up, always taught us to give back to our church and our community. So I got on Rocket and went and raised some money and took it back to mom and said, I need to send it into the nonprofit. So that's where I identified that I love to help people. And so wow. After 20 years of working in the auction business with my family, I went to my brothers and I said, I think I want to take a different journey and I want to work with nonprofits. And 16 years ago, I focus 95% of my time now helping nonprofits make a difference. And I'm loving what I'm doing.
Wow. And look at you now and just being such a huge impact in the NAA. And Christie, you're someone who I look up to greatly. And I know that when I first got in this industry a few years back, you welcomed me with open arms as a new member of the NAA. And, I get to support this amazing platform, which gets to help, auctioneers such as yourself. And I just have always appreciated you really taking me in and treating me like family. And so, get emotional. So it's amazing to have you on today and to just get to know you and let everyone else get to know you as well. So we have a very exciting topic that Christie is going to share some of her expertise in, which we mentioned earlier, which is that run of show development. So please tell us, what even is a run of show for some that may not know?
Really good question. It's called many different things: run of show, timeline, evening schedule, whatever you want to call it. A run of show is each thing that's going to happen during the evening, and you can even lead up to the morning before or even the day before, but I want to focus on, let's say, an hour before the doors open. But it's when all your volunteers are arriving, when they're supposed to be at their stations, when I arrive or your professional fundraising auctioneer arrives for their sound check. It then even goes into various, if you're doing some raffles or revenue generators, your committee or no, excuse me, your volunteers who are offering those raffles, they're also on this run of show. Every speaker is on this run of show. The run of show has a breakdown of time, so everybody knows exactly what's expected of them and at what time. And then it's distributed. This is one thing that some groups forget, that you distribute it to everybody involved, so they then know what is expected of them.
Right. And I've had, of course, since I work with the software, we go to a lot of events and we work on site with the group, with the organization. And, of course, we're facilitating the software functions, but that's very involved throughout the process. So we're given a run of show, and I've definitely been given what looked like a booklet of a run of show. And so could you tell me like the difference between a run of show and what I'd always received as maybe like a script, and tell us, how that benefits?
Absolutely. And I'm working off of a script right now, and I'm breaking it into a run of show, so I can have the meat. But a run of script, basically is what's everything that's said from the podium or the stage during the program, and it would have times on it as well. That is very hard for everybody to work from. Your AV company who is doing your PowerPoint and your sound and that type stuff, it's great to have them on the script, so they know what slide is shown, at what time, what music's played, what videos played. That's great to have that there. But the run of show is like a one-line example and time of what's happening when and where. So the run of show is so much easier to work from. It should even be, if at all possible, one page. So you're not flipping through, and we both have flipped through these scripts before to find out what we're supposed to be doing next. There's a big difference, but I encourage everybody, have a run of show because it will make sure your event goes better.
Yeah, and being able to see it all on that one page, I can kind of skip to my color-coded part and know exactly where I am, and so can everyone else. And so since there is so many moving parts and everyone has this script, right? That's great. They have not script, a run of show, and they're following along with that to see their part. Do you recommend having someone to kind of facilitate that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. I call it a stage manager. You can call it a producer. You can call it anything you want to. But a stage manager basically is following that run of show, making sure everything happens as it's supposed to happen. And even if something needs to be delayed for some reason, maybe you want to leave the silent auction open later, maybe one of the speakers, it could be a TV anchor, they're running late coming from the TV studio. They're involved in adjusting that timeline or in helping make the decision, adjusting that timeline. But that stage manager is making sure that every speaker is on deck, ready to take the stage when that next speaker leaves and they're not in the bathroom possibly. But just making sure everything flows. If you have a raffle or a revenue generating game, depending on what state you're in, that stage manager also ensures that vessel that you're drawing the name from is on stage when it's supposed to be on stage. It just ensures that everything flows smoothly.
That's awesome. So let's just say it's my first time making my own runner show for an event, part of an organization, and I want to know, how to strategically time everything. How do you even know what time things should be, how long they should take? Like, where do you begin?
And that's a really good question. Over the 16 years that I've been doing this, I've developed several templates depending on what type of event that it is. But you literally get into the weeds, if you will, with the nonprofit, or that's what I do anyway, but get into the weeds with them, and we time the videos, we time how long each speaker plans to talk. I know how long it takes for my part, and I share that with them. But, again, I've got templates that I would be happy to share with anybody that wants to reach out.
Well, awesome. So, obviously this industry is something that you have really developed and learned and became a true expert in, and auctioneering is in your blood. So as you can tell, Christie doesn't only, get on stage and auction and have that personality and that presence and help you raise your funds. She is also a consultant that can help you along each stage, even when it comes down to developing your run of show. So great resource. And of course, feel free to reach out to get her information if you want to work with her at a future event or have her consult with you. She's clearly an expert in her field. And I'm going to follow my own run of show here that says that the next step is to host our fund to need, our paddle raise, if you will, whatever you call it, call to the heart. And then following that, we will have a quick auction that is some really fun items that are based on our Atlantis underwater theme. So you can get excited about that auction. And just to kind of tell you, how this works, we're doing this all virtually, right? So that you can see how easy it is to raise your funds. And you're going to see that you just simply click a button on your screen and your name will pop up on the side. Now, most likely, your event's going to be with all of your guests in person. They're going to be raising paddles with paddle numbers on them. And Christie, being the auctioneer on stage, will see that paddle at that amount, that level of giving, and be able to call that out where someone just like my producer who's in room here is clerking, anything that we need. You can just simply type in a number and it displays a name on screen. So let's show you how quick and easy you can display those names. And Christie, take it off and let us know how that paddle raise is going to go today.
All right, if I can kind of back up just a tad, when the pandemic hit, we had several clients who had their events planned, and what do we do now? Because they still needed to raise money, right?
Right.
Well, that was when I found y'all and partnered with y'all, and we conducted our virtual events through event.giv's platform, and it worked beautifully. I couldn't find any other platform that worked as well as event.giv's, mainly because of the lack of latency. Well, we're not doing virtual events anymore. Thank you, Jesus. But I am doing some hybrid events, and a hybrid event is where I have a room full of people, but I also have people online with this platform who are participating like you are. But this would be virtual, unfortunately, or this example is virtual. But the platform that we have through event.giv's, yes, it offers a hybrid opportunity, but it is very, very good and easy platform to use as your clerking software, your silent auction bidding, and I actually have a client right now, Candace, who is now considering doing a hybrid, and it's one of your clients and one of our clients that's using event.giv's. So that resource was there when they identified there were people who were not going to be able to attend, and we're now able to pivot to a hybrid. So I just wanted to share that. This is one of my favorite platforms.
That means so much coming from you, especially. And I do appreciate you noting that. We did actually get really busy during COVID because we were that virtual platform. However, all of our tools translate into in-person. So I appreciate you making note of that. So let's show how to do that paddle raise easily and raise those funds.
That sounds good. So there are going to be levels on the screen showing up one at a time, and you simply click on the donation that you would like to give, and your name is going to appear. So you'll notice your name will be here, that will be appearing, and we'll see the running total. Again, this is not real money, so you feel free to play and give. So we're going to start out with the $10,000 level. So you're going to simply click that $10,000 button. So somebody click it. Let's see how this works. So thank you, Karen, for giving $10,000. Molly, thank you so much for giving $10,000. We have an anonymous, so you can see that it's an anonymous donor can give through the platform. And Tina and Jenny and another anonymous at $10,000. Man, I wish y'all were coming to my events is all I can say. So we're at $70,000, and we have another anonymous donation at $10,000. This is absolutely amazing. We're changing lives today. So let's go ahead and drop in the $5,000 level. So now you can either give 10,000, continue giving 10, or giving the 5. So we have Tina, thank you so much for giving 10, as well as Savannah and Karen and Candace. Hey, thanks for participating, giving us $5,000. So it's that easy from a donor standpoint and from an auctioneer standpoint using the platform. So let's drop in the $2,500 level because we are changing lives one donation at a time. So let's give it $2,500. Somebody jump in there at 25. We're at $112.5 now. Thank you, Jenny, for your $2,500 donation. And Molly, Savannah, anonymous again, Tina again, again, thank you so much for your donations. And again, you can still give through anonymous donations through the platform. We're at 125,000, and there's one final button that we're going to pull up, and that is give any amount. So all you would do is click on that enter amount and put in the amount that you would like to give, and we'll see how that goes.
And Christy, it looks like we might have lost your sound real quick. Just
Yeah.
there we go.
Teaches me to clear my throat, huh? So we have all these donations coming in. We're at $236,210, and thank you all so much for giving. And oh wow, Molly, an anonymous at 98. Molly, I was about to tell you how much I loved you at that 50, and I noticed that $100,000 donation. But anyway, this is how it works. You have the 4 buttons up there. You could go all the way down to any amount, but I love ending on that enter amount, and that's any amount that you would like to give, pushing you to that goal. $331,210.
Wow. That was so easy and so quick. And you can see how fast you can reach your goals and how easy it is for everyone to participate. And those names were just flying off. That's how we want it. That's the way we want to see it in person. So get those names up there. And they all happened so fast and in real time. So she was able to call out each and every person. So
when I didn't have my mute on, right?
That's right. That's right. It's virtual world, right?
Yeah, really.
It's been a while. So now we're going to segue into that live auction, and we got a few exciting items up. But first, I'm going to let Christy just kind of tell you how it's going to work.
Okay, so again, pretend money, and thank you for participating in the Fund in Need, but you're simply going to click on the bid button. And that will be the amount that I'm asking for, and the bid button. And then you'll see on this side of the screen the various donations coming in and that your name's assigned to it. So you can also click the more details, view item, more details in the upper right-hand corner when that item goes live. So it's super easy. Candace, tell us about our first auction item.
My pleasure. So our first item is Dinner with Poseidon, a dinner like no other. You will be dining like a god with the real god of the sea. The dinner includes a 4-course meal with delicious wine pairings for 2. This meal is provided by the top underwater restaurant as rated by Travel and Leisure magazine. The outstanding food will be accompanied by none other than Poseidon himself. So take it away, Christy.
This one sounds like a fun one to me. So all you do is hit that $3,000 button, because that's where we're starting. Start us off at $3,000 where? Who bid a 3, put them on 3. Somebody bid 3. Thank you, Jenny. Now 3, now 4 with Savannah asking $5,000. Now $6,000 where? I ain't bid a 5,000, a 6. Here to buy, get them on 6,000. Somebody hit the button now 7. I bid 6,000. Molly's anonymous in at 8,000 asking $9,000. I ain't bid a 8 and a 9. Here to buy, get them on $9,000. I ain't bid a 9. Now 10. I ain't but a 9 to 10. Here to buy, get them on $10,000. Now 11. I ain't but a 10. Now 11. Here to buy, get them on 11,000. We're in with Candace at 10, asking 11,000 before we go. 11,000. Just in time with Molly. Now $12,000. I ain't but 11 to 12. Here to buy, get them up at 12,000. Anyone else? Before I sell it, it is. So item is closed. It is sold. Congratulations to Molly for winning that at $11,000. Our next auction item.
Thank you, Christy. Wow, that was so exciting. You saw us in there trying to win, but they got me in the end. That's all right. Maybe this one, right?
Yes.
All right, so this second item, it is an entire day full of underwater sightseeing. Take yourself on a trip with 4 of your closest friends to experience the Lost City. Up close and personal. On your full day guided tour, you will be scuba diving. All Atlantis has to offer, from deep dive caverns, coral reefs, historic monuments, and sea life galore. It will take your breath away. So Christy, take our breath away and sell this item.
This is one of my favorites. Speaking say, put your hands in the air. Click that bid button at $5,000. Let's go. Who bid at $5,000 now? Six. I bid at five and six. Six now. Seven. I had seven here to buy. Get them on 7,000. I'm to six. Seven now. Eight. I bid seven to 8,000. See how fast it is when those bids come in. $8,000. Now nine. I bid at 8,999. Here to buy. Get them on nine. Now 10. $10,000 where? I know you want that one, Candace. You got to bid $10,000. Now 11. I bid at 10. Now 11. Here to buy. Get them on $11,000. One more time. But 11. I'm at 10, now 11, here to buy, get them on 11. Anyone else at 11,000? Who wants to go with me? I'll go with you. $11,000 where? I'm at a 10, now 11. Anyone else? Just in time, 12,000. Savannah, she's going to get you. And Ty, you got to get, Tina, you got to get back in too. 13,000 where? I'm at 12,000 to 13, here to buy, get them on 13,000. So all it's going to take, it's for the kids. Get bid it one more time at 13,000. Anyone else? And I closed it out at $12,000. Congratulations, Savannah.
Wow, that was amazing. That was so much fun. They still got beat, but that's okay. You got to be willing to bid to win, right?
That's right.
So thank you, Savannah. Thank you, everyone who participated. That was so much fun. And now we're going to open this up to you guys. You've got the chat on the side here. You've got this amazing resource at your hands. So please utilize Christie's brain. Ask her any questions that you might want to know. If you have any questions for us on how the platform functions and anything you might need to know for your next event, I'd be happy to answer that as well. So we're just looking in chat to see if we get any questions here. It could be regarding run of show. It could be regarding any kind of consulting. There is no wrong question, so feel free to chat in there.
Well, I know. And while we're waiting, there was a point I wanted to make, and it just left.
Please.
But from the run of show standpoint, start early creating your run of show because it's a living, breathing document up until that final. And once you have the final, that's when you disseminate it to everybody. But label it a draft, and then to continue working on it for the months leading up to the event. Don't try to do it all at one time.
Right, that makes sense. Absolutely. Yeah. And you had brought up a point. Well, we were talking about run of show development, and I guess I know that you're going to put everyone on the same sheet, and I was thinking, and I was like, would it make sense to have almost like a back of house run of show and a front of house, or do you think it's more beneficial to see how everything functions and just have all in one?
Yeah, personally, I like all in one. So one, you don't have to create two different sets of documents, but I like to have it all on one. I think color coding it specifically will help you zoom in depending on what vendor or volunteer or speaker that you are.
Oh, I love that. And it looks like Jenny came in with a question. She said, should I save my past events run of show? Christy, take it away.
Absolutely. And, we talked about that stage manager earlier. That stage manager not only should be facilitating the evening, they also need to be documenting the times of what happened and when it happened, because you don't want to go back to last year's to recreate or to create next year's. You want to use reality, what really ended up happening. And then you evaluate that to see, was this a one-off situation, or did we simply not allow enough time for whatever it was, the video, the speaker, or whatever? So absolutely.
Perfect. I love that, because then you can just really improve on it every year and try to have it, be more accurate as you go on, and have, and also everyone that comes to your event last year might come to your event next year, and they, like to know what to expect, and it'll probably be a very similar timeline as before. So Molly asked, as far as run of show template goes, would you preferably do your paddle raise before your auction like we just did, or is it personal preference? Now, Christy, I know you have an opinion on this, so I'd love to hear it.
As a professional fundraising auctioneer, we all have different opinions, okay? So my opinion is it depends. If we're virtual, absolutely. I want to do the fund and need, and it's called so many names. I think we've already said that, but I want to do the fund and need first. If we're in a live event and we have under 10 items, live items, I want the fund and need last. If we have 20 items, which I can't tell you how long it's been since I've offered 20 items, long pandemic, you'd want to put it like 40 to 60% of the way through the live auction. So you'd actually pause the live auction and do the fund and need. And that's a whole nother scientific structure, if you will, of how to set up the live auction items. But I prefer the fund and need being at the end. And I've also noticed, and a lot of us professional fundraising auctioneers talk about in our industry, how people who bid on the live auction are not necessarily giving that same money if they were the backup bidder in the fund and need. So it's almost like two different profiles that are there. Now, some do, don't get me wrong there, but most of the time that money is not going into the fund and need, which we find really interesting.
That's a great question. I got another one here. Savannah said, what things am I looking for when choosing an auctioneer? This is a very, very good question.
That is a very good.
I'll add a little bit to that too, but you go first.
Yeah, that is a very good question. Couple things. I'm a benefit auctioneer specialist, a designation that I hold through the National Auctioneers Association. And we've had specific training of how to help nonprofits with their fundraising events that they bring us in on. So look for a BAS designee holder. You can go to the National Auctioneers Association's website. It's auctioneers.org. You'll go in the upper right-hand corner that says Find an Auctioneer. You can then sort it by BAS designation and look for them. You also want to look for somebody who's easy to work with, that you enjoy working with, and that they share your passion, because your fundraising auctioneer should be your ambassador for your event. And if those factors aren't there, it's probably not going to be a good fit.
I love that, Christie. And, I met Christie because I went to BAS Summit 2 years ago, I guess now, and it changed my life. It was so revolutionary. I came back, with just this fire, and I came to my CEO, Sam Staley, and I was like, hey, I have all these ideas. They are doing everything, this way. This is what they recommend. This is what they say. And it's because these professionals, they not only, I think I was someone who had a very common misconception of what an auctioneer even was before I went. So I'm thinking you're a stage presence, you just go up there and you do your thing, you enlight the crowd, but it's so much more than that. So you can find auctioneers that are true experts in this field who know how to help you, develop your event and take it from just the gala that everyone goes to, and there might be some auction items, to just full on how to get every dollar in the room, to raise your funds. And it's truly amazing, all the different, tactics and skills and things. And in this group of people that are part of the NAA, and I can't advocate for them enough, they come together with this shared knowledge. And I've never seen a more cohesive group of people that work together and share that knowledge. I thought it would be competitive, and it isn't. It's just a wealth of knowledge. So definitely find an auctioneer that is super certified. You see Christie King's name there with all those little acronyms underneath. That's what you want. And if you want to connect with Christie, again, we are going to be happy to share her contact information after this. And so with that, Christie, is there anything else you wanted to add before we say our final goodbyes?
The only thing I want to add is, when you're looking for an auctioneer, we're not just what we call bid callers. We are entertainers. So it's engaging the crowd and having that run of show to make sure everything runs smoothly, and then we will deliver and bring you the money.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christie, for being with us today. And thank you everyone who participated in this demo. It was a lot of fun, and I really love just hearing from you, Christie, and love any time I get to spend with you. So thank you for being here. And we are so happy to have you as a strategic partner. If you'd like to get to know Christie more, please, she's C King Benefit Auctions. You can find her website. You can reach out to us if you'd love to work with her. We'd be happy to share that contact. So thanks for being with us, everyone. Thank you, Christie. And we hope to see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.